What is up, guys? It's your boy Lexo, and today we're going to be talking about J. Cole and how he might be the actual winner of this whole beef that's got the world going crazy right now, alright? So as you all know, right now the world is going crazy because Kendrick Lamar and Drake are at a crazy beef right now that's going on, and Drake is pretty much shredded. He's getting killed multiple ways. He's just dying, bleeding on the floor. And it's looking like it's done, whilst Kendrick is out here making the whole world get turned because he's winning and he's clearly on top. Now in this video, we're not going to be focusing too much on Kendrick Lamar and Drake because we're trying to focus on J. Cole. J. Cole, I believe, is the one who started this beef. I know that's not entirely true. It's something that's been brewing for years, since like 2013 with that whole Control verse back in the day.
I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas.
But right now, the one who lit the match on the pile of gasoline, okay, is J. Cole. He did this. And how he did this was in that song, First Person Shooter. Now, I don't believe J. Cole meant anything bad by this. In fact, he was just extending out an arm to Kendrick, like, hey man, you know, we're together. It's this line right here. Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K. Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We're the big three like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. Okay? This is the line that did it. And then he went off and said the Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake. It's those two lines here, okay? Him saying, is it K. Dot, is it Aubrey or me? And then him saying the Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake might have struck Kendrick weird because it's like, wait, what? So you two are saying that you're the goats and you're leaving me out of this. You're saying that you're amazing and I've been left out. This is what happened essentially. K. Dot got left out and he got mad. Like, hey man, how the hell are you gonna leave me out of this? And how the hell are you two saying that you're the same level as me? Like, you're not the same level as me. And that's Kendrick. That's his train of thought right here when he's hearing this song. And to some extent, it is kind of true. I don't think Kendrick is on the same level as J. Cole and Drake in that he's higher, you know? So in response to this, Kendrick Lamar featured on Metro Boomin and Future's new album, new at the time, called We Don't Trust You. Now this album was an entire diss track towards Drake. They weren't happy with Drake. I'm gonna get into that in another video, why many rappers in the industry don't like Drake. But essentially I think it's just because Drake is probably not a very nice person in the actual, like, scene. We're gonna focus on that later. Right now, I want to talk about this. So Kendrick's response to this whole first person situation where people were saying we're the big three, like we're together, we're the same, was Kendrick saying, hell no, I'm not the same as you, I'm better. And he did that in this song by saying this. He basically says, screw sneak dissing, first person shooter, I hope you came with 3 switches. He's directly pointing at Drake and J. Cole for saying they're the same. Okay? If you walk around that stick, it ain't under 3K. Now this is a diss at J. Cole as well, because J. Cole has a song where he talks about walking around with a stick in the hood, something like that. And so people thought, you know, he's pointing at J. Cole with this line here. In the next line, he goes around and says, screw the big three, it's just big me, you know? Just directly pointing at them and saying, hey, I'm not part of you, man. I'm on my own, you're not on my level. And then he doubles down even harder and he says, Prince outlived Mike Jack, because in the song First Person Shooter, Drake ends the song by saying, people saying that it won't be repeated, what the hell, I'm one away from Michael, you know, meaning that he's saying that he's the new Michael Jackson basically. We all know that Drake and Prince had a big feud at the time that they were the most popping in the industry. So this is now Kendrick Lamar positioning himself as if he's Prince on that side of the beef, saying, hey, you know what? Prince actually outlived MJ. So yeah, he's shooting at them. Like he's really going at them. He's really targeting them and he's not holding back. Okay? And it even goes harder as well, if you thought it ended. I'm sure you guys already heard the song, but this is just so much fun. For all the dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these 9s. He gonna see Pet Cemetery. Now this is a shot at Drake's album, For All the Dogs. For all your dogs getting buried. He's burying all the dogs, you know, he's saying it's over for this dude. It's over. So a pretty scathing diss, you know. This song right now is sitting at almost 40 million views on YouTube right here. So you can see that this song really did numbers. A lot of people heard it and it really caused waves. So while all this was going on, J. Cole stepped up to plate and was like, you know what? I'm gonna respond first. People thought Drake was gonna respond first, but I think he was on tour at the time. He was doing concerts all around. So J. Cole, having free time, went to the studio and actually made a response targeting Kendrick. Now, J. Cole, what he did was he released an album called Might Delete Later. And it's actually true because he did end up deleting this song, but we'll get to that later. Right now, I want to focus on what he said. Now, this, when it came out, it was actually scathing to Kendrick, okay? People were like, wow, J. Cole went hard. And he did. He actually did, to give him his credit, you know. He actually went hard and he actually went for it. So as the first one to respond, J. Cole was not holding any punches. We're not going to focus on everything because it's a whole diss track. The lyrics are a lot. But I'm going to focus on the lines that went hardest the most and that made people turn their heads like, wow, J. Cole, wow. So we're going to talk about this lyric first here where he says, your first was classic, your last was tragic, your second put people to sleep, but they gassed it, your third was massive, and that was your prime. Now, guys, I know I'm censoring a lot here, but, you know, one of my videos got hit with that yellow $ thing on YouTube. That means that, you know, I can't be doing this stuff too much. I need to watch what I say. Otherwise, they'll come for me. They're watching me, these people, all right? So, I don't like this lyric, even though it trended and got really popular when the song came out, because I don't think a shred of it is true, okay? When it says your first was a classic. Now, Kendrick's first project that, you know, is like officially the first one before his underground stuff was Section 80, okay? Now, Section 80 was a classic. Is he talking about Section 80 or is he talking about Good Kid, Mad City? I don't understand, because he says your second put people to sleep. And his second is Good Kid, Mad City. Bro, Good Kid, Mad City is still charting to this day, you know? And it's been like, what, 10 years, 11 years? It's still charting. This is not a true line, okay? Now, the first was a classic. Section 80 was a classic. I still bump it to this day. But the second is also pretty much a classic, you know? And he's saying your third was massive and that was your prime. That's not true. Damn is not Kendrick's prime. Good Kid, Mad City, the classic, is its prime. Okay, that's the one that people still talk about. Okay, when Drake attacked him on that song, I don't know, I forgot what it's called, man. The Drake songs were so terrible. He was crashing the van from that album because that's Kendrick's prime. Okay, that's the big one. Anyway, he says your last was tragic, and I think he's talking about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Bro, that wasn't a tragic album. That was a beautiful album, okay? All of Kendrick's work is gold. And I think J. Cole knows that he's not being true to himself here. I think he knew it, which we'll get to that later. I'm sure you guys know what happened, but I think he knew it because even in the song, you see he comes down here, he says, Lord, don't make me have to smoke this dude because I mess with him, you know? But push come to shove on this mic, I will humble him. You didn't. But yeah, even here he's really feeling that he doesn't really, you know, he doesn't really believe in what he's saying. He doesn't really, he's not really saying these things because he fully believes it. He's just saying it because there was a lot of pressure at the time. Now, there's a line that came out here which was really funny, and I think that's the one that made the diss have a bit more weight. Your arms might be too short to box with a god, okay? He's making fun of Kendrick's height. Kendrick is a pretty short king, okay? And he was making fun of his height. Now, this is the first time it's been done. I know Drake rinsed it a little bit, but this is the first time it was done. And at the time, while it was still new and he was the first to do it, people were going crazy. Like, hey man, how could you say this? And people were actually having a field day with this. Like, oh my God, he really went for Kendrick's jugular here. He really went for it. But that's pretty much the diss. A lot of the stuff is really just diss track stuff. You know, it's a lot of disses and stuff. But, you know, these are the lines that did most of the scathing work here. But it didn't take long, you know. I think it was maybe a little bit less than a week, if not a little bit more, but J. Cole went and released this apology video.
So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood. So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my nigga back and I try to keep it friendly, but at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace. So what I want to say right here tonight is, in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this nigga's fucking catalog and his greatness, I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers to ever touch a fucking microphone? Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? as do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bruh, that was the lamest, like, goofiest shit. And I say all that to say, it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God align me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my nigga really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my nigga, I got my chin out. Take your best shot, I'm gonna take that shit on the chin, boy. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, all good. Like, it's love.
Now, this apology, when it came out, people weren't messing with it, okay? A lot of people were clowning J. Cole, said he's J-mid or some other things like that, saying that, you know, he folded, he didn't stay true to himself, he didn't show up. And, you know, the people were just basically clowning him. They were saying he's a wuss, you know? I don't know. At the time when it came out, I respected J. Cole for doing this. You know, I respected it because he came out, he told the truth. He's like, you know, I'm not about this. And, you know, I don't know if a lot of people knew this. A lot of public people don't know this, but the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar beef started a long time ago, bro. It started like in 2013. These people weren't really cool from the get-go. There's a reason why they didn't collab much after that Poetic Justice song. They didn't collab after that at all ever, I think. So that's why, you know, they have not been cool with each other all these years. And he knew that, J. Cole. He knew that. But because he was on this diss track, and I think he saw that he caught, what's the word? Stray shots? Guilty by association? I don't know what the phrase is, but you know when you're just in the area and it just happens to you because you're close to it, but you weren't really the target. That's what happened to J. Cole here. So he's like, okay, you know, I think he saw that after sitting back and seeing his 7-minute drill track out there in the world causing waves. He's sitting at home reflecting on what happened, and he's like, you know what, man, this isn't me. I didn't mean this. I didn't mean any of this. This whole song is fake. So the album being called Might Delete Later ended up with J. Cole actually deleting that song. So Might Delete Later was actually real. That song is now off the platforms. It's off anywhere. If you want it, you're gonna have to like just search people who re-upload randomly, and that's the only way you're gonna hear it. It's not in the official record anymore. It's not a deleted song. Now let's get to why the video is titled why it's titled. Okay, the reason I'm talking about this is because now, okay, the beef has fully gone on. Drake versus Kendrick Lamar has fully played out. And Drake is currently scorching, bro. He's getting fried by everyone. He's at the bottom of the barrel. He's drowning. He's at the bottom of the Marianas Trench right now. It's looking terrible because Kendrick Lamar absolutely walked all over him, bro. And you know what's funny? People are actually coming back now and saying, you know what, Kendrick, we owe you an apology, man. For saying that you apologized. The man who apologized is getting apologized to because his apology was great in a way.
Real winner is low-key J. Cole. When you're looking at like everybody and how they're gonna walk out of this, J. Cole does not have a scratch on him. He doesn't have a tint in the armor. He's walking off into the sunset right now.
Yeah, I think this dude is correct. I think J. Cole actually won because if you look at it, like, bro, what's happening? Drake right now is being called a PDF file, you know? He's being called that. And then which is a terrible fucking scathing thing to be called. And then Kendrick is now also got those allegations that Drake talked about where he's apparently where he was hitting his woman, and that's out in the world as well. You know, he's got those scars right there. It's not as deep as Drake. You know, Drake is floundering, but you know, J. Cole and Kendrick didn't come out smooth either. The only person who was involved in this beef who came out squeaky clean is J. Cole. And for this, I think he's the real winner of this whole beef because he was in it. But look, he got out. He's scot-free. And you know what? There was a meme that was trending on all the platforms where they were saying J. Cole, while this beef is happening, J. Cole is probably out riding his bike. He's probably out in the wilderness, walking around in the forest, enjoying a walk in the breeze. You know, there's memes about that. I'll find them and play them for you. And you know what? It actually came out like less than a day ago, bro. A fan bumped into J. Cole as he was chilling on the beach. Bro, J. Cole is chilling at the beach right now. Right now, as we... Well, maybe not right now, but, you know, while all this is going on, this is 11 hours ago, by the way, that this was trending. J. Cole is chilling at the beach, enjoying the sunset, enjoying the sand, enjoying the ocean. He's not stressing about anything. You know what's happening to Drake right now?
Lots of questions tonight about a security guard who was shot outside the mansion of the rapper, I should say, Drake in Toronto.
There's currently a large police presence outside of the home of Drake after reports of an overnight shooting in the area. Here's a live look at the scene now. This is outside of 21 Park Lane Circle in North York, well known to be the home of the Toronto-born rapper. Details are still very limited, but police have confirmed to City News that the person injured is not Drake. Officers responded to the shooting around 2 this morning. One person was rushed to hospital with serious injuries. No word on the identity of that person. A suspect fled in a vehicle, but no description is available at this point.
So you see, while J. Cole is chilling at the beach enjoying his time, this is what's happening with Drake. Drake is now going through this. Now, Kendrick, for the most part, is really enjoying his time. I think he's battling UMG because they want him to apologize right now. I'm going to go into that later. They want him to apologize, these big people, because they sponsor Drake and they might lose money. So they're wanting Kendrick to apologize, and he's battling that right now. I don't think he will, but he's dealing with that right now because those are big people, billionaire companies. But J. Cole is chilling, bro. J. Cole is at the beach enjoying his time while all this is happening. So this is why J. Cole has won. And people are now waiting for his album. People are now waiting for his new album, The Fall Off, because they think he's going to have some insightful things to say, which is true. He does. He will have some insightful things to say. So I really think J. Cole is the true winner of this beef right here. So yeah, guys, that's the story of why J. Cole is the true winner of this beef, okay? J. Cole won, and no one else can say anything about that, you know? All the other guys, the two. I know Kendrick won, but J. Cole is the real winner in that he's not dealing with any fallout. He's not dealing with any craziness. He just bowed out and he made his way off. And now people are actually apologizing to him, saying that he was correct. And if that's not winning, I don't know what it is, okay? Anyways, I'm going to cover more on this topic. I'm going to cover more. I think there's a lot more to cover. Like that stuff I was saying about how Kendrick is now fighting the big organization behind Drake. So we'll focus on that later. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. And with that being said, peace guys. See y'all in the next video.